Breaking now, a woman is dead. A man, possibly a naval criminal investigator, shot and critically hurt. The suspect shot and killed by deputies after allegedly opening fire on them at a separate scene.
We want to show you where all the chaos is unfolding. It started on Tulips Run in the Balmoral community in Humboldt. The suspect was killed a good distance away on the northwest side. ABC 13's Daniela Hurtado just got to the scene there in Humboldt moments ago. Daniela, what's the latest?
Yeah, we just got to the scene, just finished talking to Sheriff Gonzalez about the latest developments. He confirms one woman is dead here. Her husband was actually the one accused of shooting and killing her, then leaving the scene. He also confirms another man, an NCIS investigator, was also shot here. The sheriff tells us that NCIS agents were out here interviewing the wife about a domestic situation between her and her husband. The husband wasn't home at the time, according to the sheriff, but once they saw a car going up and down the street, the agents started getting skeptical, and that's when the husband rushed into the home and is accused of killing his wife, and his wife was also holding their child. I want to take you to Sky Eye video right now of the scene that we have. Basically what the sheriff is telling us is that, again, all of this is very preliminary. They have those two scenes right now. The NCIS investigator was taken to the hospital. He was in serious condition, but as of 10 minutes ago, when I talked to the sheriff on camera, he confirms that person, that man, is now in fair condition, so he is doing better. Again, one person dead, one person at the hospital, and that suspect has been killed, according to the sheriff's office. I want to take you to the sound from the sheriff. Again, we just talked to him about how the situation unfolded. This is what we know at this hour.
The female inside the house, when our units arrived, found her deceased, still grabbing or holding on to her infant child. They were able to rescue the child and get him out to safety. The agents ran house to house trying to find some assistance, and a Good Samaritan thankfully opened the door, let the agents in, stabilize the situation briefly until an ambulance could get here and transport.
Are at the second scene in northwest Harris County. That's on Mist Lane. The suspect was shot and killed there by Precinct 4 deputies. The sheriff confirms that the suspect was approached by deputies out there, and he started shooting at them. They shot at him, and that ended up killing the suspect. I'm sure you're wondering about that baby. You might be hearing those cries as we're giving our live report right now. That baby's being held by law enforcement right now. We have started seeing family members show up, according to the sheriff, and we're still waiting to get more information on who this woman was, and also the development on how the NCIS investigator is doing. We'll stay on top of this. We'll get those answers.
On September 22, 2022, Greg Hightower, a military officer, shot and killed his wife, Takara Hightower, aged 34, 6 times in the face while she was holding their baby, before getting shot and killed by police. Welcome to Cold Cases. Subscribe and like this video for more stories, and remember to stay safe. This tragedy took place in Houston, on Tulloch Run near Bedford Mist at 1:30 in the afternoon. Takara was meeting with an NCIS investigator at the time of the shooting, with the unidentified investigator also being injured in the process. Allegedly, Greg had been caught having an affair with a nurse by Takara, and she wanted to know where Greg was and what he was doing. She also made social media posts alluding to that fact, but unfortunately, we will never know if that was true or not. The unidentified baby was not killed in the attack. However, I was not able to find any more information on the child, most likely because he's very young and is most likely living with close family. It was alleged that Greg was being abusive, which is why the NCIS agent was in the home. Authorities say the NCIS agent stepped out of the home at some point, and that's when Greg walked into the house with a gun, shot his wife 6 times in the face, and left. Greg then reportedly encountered the NCIS agents in front of the house and exchanged gunfire. One agent was hit but later survived. Greg then proceeded to get in his car and drive near a relative's house, where he was then shot and killed after a gunfight with police. Investigators say Harris County Sheriff's Office deputies were called to their house twice before regarding domestic violence incidents. The first time was said to be back in July when investigators said the wife accused Hightower of hitting her. However, Hightower claimed the same thing, so prosecutors didn't take any charges. The second call to authorities was made 2 days before the deadly shooting. HCSO told ABC 13 the woman called to ask how to file a restraining order. Unfortunately, the police department did not take Takara's claims seriously. It is difficult for someone to get out of an abusive relationship, and if the people who are supposed to protect and serve us do not help, what else can we do? Takara was a beautiful young woman who leaves behind 6 kids. Takara's best friend, Christina Zell, wrote those children are left mother and fatherless. In a GoFundMe she started to help support them and to defray the costs of Takara's funeral. Takara was also described as a fearless lioness and protective mama bear who lived for each of her children. The bond that she shared with her babies was like none other. The selfless, caring, and relentless woman that she was shined bright in her children's eyes, Takara's sister wrote. My heart is torn into pieces about my baby sister, my bestest friend, my first baby before I ever even thought of having a baby is gone. I'm not okay at all. But the worst thing about all this is trying to explain to her children that the beautiful, loving and caring woman that's always been there for them for every school event, knows all their favorite foods/things, did all their drop-offs and pickups from school, knew all their clothes/shoe sizes, helped with homework, did their laundry, ran their baths on a daily basis with hardly any complaints is no longer here and never coming back. Copyright This is the worst nightmare that I can't wake up from. Her sister continues on to say that Greg was so selfish and controlling that he took the only thing she had and felt great about was the love she and her children shared for each other. She didn't get to say her goodbyes or her I love you to her family and friends like he did after overkilling my beautiful sister, knowing she was the only person who genuinely gave his lameness a chance. She ends the heartfelt post by saying, keep our family in your prayers and be praying for these children who lost the most important person in their lives, their mother. Anyone who knew how she felt about all her kids. Takara was a beautiful mother who loved her children, who was unfortunately caught in an abusive relationship with a monster who took her away from her kids. What happened to Takara was an absolute tragedy. May her family heal from this unfathomable circumstance. If you or a loved one you know is in an abusive relationship and you see signs of it, help them or get them in contact with the National Domestic Abuse Hotline. More videos about missing person cases, cold cases, and true crime cases are on the way. Be sure to stay safe and we'll see you next time.